Shabbat Shalom, my friends. How do we engender more love and connectedness, one Jew to the next? If there's anything that October 7th and everything that followed taught us, is that we need to be unified and we need to love and respect each other. And sometimes it's easier to respect and love people who you don't know so much. But the people we interact with literally on an everyday basis, our families, our colleagues at work, how do we stay connected to them? How do we continue to be good friends and not come to, God forbid, disrespect or even something even worse in regard to them? And this week's Parshat Kedoshim, is telling us, Lo sisnas achicha b'vavecha. The Torah forbids a Jew from harboring hate for a fellow Jew. You shall surely rebuke your neighbor. If you see your neighbor doing something, your colleague, your friend doing something against the Torah, I know this sounds a little politically incorrect, but the Torah is saying you should say something. V'lo tisa alav chet, the verse ends, and you shall not bear sin because of him. And the Ramban, Nachmanides, teaches, he asks the question, what does the last phrase teach? V'lo tisa alav chet, you shall not bear sin. What sin? Nachmanides says it's the sin of remaining silent. It's the sin of not saying something. When you're offended, maybe someone spoke ill of you, they did something inappropriate, a friend, a relative. You're supposed to say something. You're supposed to correct their behavior. Madua kachasita imadi. You should confront them. And I know this is difficult because we don't like being confrontational. But you should go over to the person and you should say, why did you do this? Veloti salav chet, and don't bear sin. What sin? Lechasot sinato bilibech, to cover up the hatred that's starting to develop in your heart. If you want to prevent yourself from coming to hate someone, when they do something nasty against you, then rather than burying your head in the sand, take the person aside and say something. Now, this takes a tact. This is not a science, it's an art. But we want to learn how to get better at actually expressing our true emotions. Of course, there are ways of doing this. You know, I learned this in couples therapy. What you do is, you don't just say, hey, when you said that, when you did this, you already put the person on defensive. What you should do is say, when that remark was made about me, it made me feel, or you made me feel. Put it on yourself, because people won't get as defensive, and they will understand that you've been offended, you've been hurt, and that brings other people in. That allows other people to say, hey, well, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it had that effect on you, or maybe something else was going through their minds. Once you just say, hey, how could you have done this? What were you thinking? Forget it. You lost the game already. They've been attacked and now they have to defend themselves. The most important thing is to say something, but think about it and always say it privately, not in the presence of other people. And I'm sharing this with you because I care about our relationship. And I'm starting to feel some ill will because I was hurt. I feel hurt. So I need to talk to you about this. When was the last time we did that with a good friend or a relative? We always just want to sweep it under the rug. And so my blessing to you and my advice and my guidance from this verse in the Torah, based on the teachings of the late and great Nachmanides, is say something. You see something, say something. Just do it in the right way. B'ezrat Hashem, we can heal our fractured relationships, and we could come back together and prevent, God forbid, hatred, and even more so, renew the relationship. Because sometimes when there's an issue and there's tension, and we get back together and we heal, the relationship's even greater. And that's my bracha. Our relationships should be strengthened, and that's what will strengthen us, not only individually, but collectively, of the entire Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, please like and subscribe so we can get these really important videos out to a larger audience. Thank you.